Jump to content. Main menu. Main menu, move to sidebar, hide. Navigation. Main page, help browse cookbook Wikidata feature books recent changes random book using Wikibooks. Community. Reading room forum community portal bulletin board help out. Policies and guidelines contact us. Search. Search. Appearance. Donations create account login. Personal tools. Donations create account login. Pages for Longbout editors learn more. Contributions discussion for this IP address. Dismiss. The Wikibooks community is developing a policy on the use of generative AI. Please review the draft policy and provide feedback on its talk page. Contents move to sidebar, hide. Beginning. 1. Physiology of vocal fold. 2. Voice production. 3. Model toggle model subsection 3.1 The pressure force. 3.2 The collision force. 4. Simulation of the model. 5. The acoustic output. 6. Related links. 7. References. Toggle the table of contents. Acoustics/human vocal fold. Add languages. Add links. Book discussion. English. Read edit source viewed history. Tools. Tools move to sidebar, hide. Actions. Read edit source viewed history. General. What links here related changes upload file special pages permanent link page information site this page gets shortened URL download QR code at interlanguage links. Sister projects. Wikipedia Wikiversity Wiktionary Wikiquote Wikisource Wikinews Wikipedia Commons Wikidata Media Wiki MetaWiki. Print/export. Create a collection download as PDF printable version. In other projects. Wikidata item. Appearance move to sidebar, hide. Text. Small. Standard. Large. This page always uses small font size. Width. Standard. Wide. The content is as wide as possible for your browser window. From Wikibooks, Open Books for an Open World. Basic Room Acoustic Treatments Threshold of Hearing/Pain. Physiology of Vocal Fold Edit Vertical Line Edit Source. The human vocal fold is a set of lip-like tissues located inside the larynx, and is the source of sound for humans and many animals. The larynx is located at the top of the trachea. It is mainly composed of cartilages and muscles, and the largest cartilage, thyroid, is well known as the Adam's apple. The organ has two main functions, to act as the last protector of the airways, and to act as a sound source for voice. This page focuses on the latter function. Links on physiology. Discover the larynx. Voice production edit vertical line edit source. Although the science behind sound production for a vocal fold is complex, it can be thought of as similar to a brass player's lips, or a whistle made out of grass. Basically, vocal folds or lips or pair of grass make a constriction to the air flow, and as the air is forced through the narrow opening, the vocal folds oscillate. This causes a periodical change in the air pressure, which is perceived as sound. Vocal folds video. When the airflow is introduced to the vocal folds, it forces open the two vocal folds which are nearly closed initially. Due to the stiffness of the folds, they will then try to close the opening again. And now the airflow will try to force the folds open, etc. This creates an oscillation of the vocal folds, which in turn, as I stated above, creates sound. However, this is a damped oscillation, meaning it will eventually achieve an equilibrium position and stop oscillating. So how are we able to sustain sound? As it will be shown later, the answer seems to be in the changing shape of vocal folds. In the opening and the closing stages of the oscillation, the vocal folds have different shapes. This affects the pressure in the opening, and creates the extra pressure needed to push the vocal folds open and sustain oscillation. This part is explained in more detail in the model section. This flow-induced oscillation, as with many fluid mechanics problems, is not an easy problem to model. Numerous attempts to model the oscillation of vocal folds have been made, ranging from a single mass spring damper system to finite element models. In this page I would like to use my single mass model to explain the basic physics behind the oscillation of a vocal fold. Information on vocal fold models, National Center for Voice and Speech. Model edit vertical line edit source figure 1. Schematics. The most simple way of simulating the motion of vocal folds is to use a single mass spring damper system as shown above. The mass represents one vocal fold, and the second vocal fold is assumed to be symmetry about the axis of symmetry. Position 3 represents a location immediately past the exit end of the mass, and position 2 represents the glottis, the region between the two vocal folds. The pressure force edit vertical line edit source. The major driving force behind the oscillation of vocal folds is the pressure in the glottis. The Bernoulli's equation from fluid mechanics states that page 1 plus 1 to U2 plus GH equals CONSTANT backslash display style P underscore 1 plus backslash fret 1 2 backslash rho U circumflex accent 2 plus backslash rho GH equals constant EQN1. Neglecting potential difference and applying EQN1 to positions 2 and 3 of figure 1. Page 2 plus 1 to U2 2 equals page 3 plus 1 to U3 2 backslash display style P underscore 2 plus backslash fret 1 2 backslash rho U underscore 2 circumflex accent 2 equals P underscore 3 plus backslash fret 1 2 backslash rho U underscore 3 circumflex accent 2 EQN2. Note that the pressure and the velocity at position 3 cannot change. This makes the right-hand side of EQN2 constant. Observation of EQN2 reveals that in order to have oscillating pressure at 2, we must have oscillation velocity at 2. The flow velocity inside the glottis can be studied through the theories of the orifice float. The constriction of air flow at the vocal folds is much like an orifice float, with one major difference. With vocal folds, the orifice profile is continuously changing. The orifice profile for the vocal folds can open or close, as well as change the shape of the opening. In figure 1, the profile is converging, but in another stage of oscillation it takes a diverging shape. The orifice flow is described by Blevins as U equals C2 page 1, page 3 backslash display style U equals C backslash frac 2 P underscore 1 P underscore 3 backslash rho EQN3, where the constant C is the orifice coefficient, governed by the shape and the opening size of the orifice. This number is determined experimentally, and it changes throughout the different stages of oscillation. Solving equations 2 and 3, the pressure force throughout the glottal region can be determined. The collision force edit vertical line edit source. As the video of the vocal folds shows, vocal folds can completely close during oscillation. When this happens, the Bernoulli equation fails. Instead, the collision force becomes the dominating force. For this analysis, Hertz's collision model was applied. FH equals KHDLT 3/21 plus BHDLTA backslash display style F underscore H equals K underscore H delta circumflex accent 3/21 plus B underscore H delta EQN4, where KH equals 431, H2R backslash display style K underscore H equals backslash frac 43 backslash frac 1 backslash mu underscore H circumflex accent to backslash SQRTR. Here delta is the penetration distance of the vocal fold past the line of symmetry. Simulation of the model edit vertical line edit source. The pressure and the collision forces were inserted into the equation of motion, and the result was simulated. Figure 2, area opening and volumetric flow rate. Figure 2 shows that an oscillating volumetric flow rate was achieved by passing a constant airflow through the vocal folds. When simulating the oscillation, it was found that the collision force limits the amplitude of oscillation rather than drive the oscillation, which tells us that the pressure force is what allows the sustained oscillation to occur. The acoustic output edit vertical line edit source. This model showed that the changing profile of glottal opening causes an oscillating volumetric flow rate through the vocal folds. This will in turn cause an oscillating pressure past the vocal folds. This method of producing sound is unusual, because in most other means of sound production, air is compressed periodically by a solid such as a speaker cone. Past the vocal folds, the produced sound enters the vocal tract. Basically, this is the cavity in the mouth as well as the nasal cavity. These cavities act as acoustic filters, modifying the character of the sound. These are the characters that define the unique voice each person produces. Related links edit vertical line edit source. Via model to mass model. References edit vertical line edit source. Fundamentals of Acoustics, Kinsler et al., John Wiley & Sons, 2000. Acoustics, An Introduction to Its Physical Principles and Applications, Pierce, Gallant E., Acoustical Society of America, 1989. Blevins, Hardy, 1984. Applied Fluid Dynamics Handbook. Van Nostrand Reinhold Company 81-82. Tietz, I.R. 1994. Principles of Voice Production. Prentice Hall, Englewood Cliffs, N.J. Busaro, J.C., and Koenig, L.L. 2005. Simulations of temporal patterns of oral airflow in men and women using a 2-mass model of the vocal folds under dynamic control. Journal of the Acoustical Society of America 117, 1362-1372. Tietz, I.R. 1988. The Physics of Small Amplitude Oscillation of the Vocal Folds. Journal of the Acoustical Society of America 83, 1536-1552. Retreat from https://wikibooks.org/w/index.php title=acoustics/human_vocal_fold and folded =3,353,224. Basic room acoustic treatments. Acoustics threshold of hearing/pain. Category: Book: Acoustics. This page was last edited on December 23, 2017, at 1944. Text is available under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike license. Additional terms may apply. By using this site, you agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. Privacy policy about Wikibooks. Disclaimers. Code of conduct. Developers. Statistics. Cookie statement. Mobile views.